Hello everyone, welcome to the garage. I'm Fast Rod, and in this video, I hope to make this brief, but I want to explain and discuss uh, when engines do explode. I am referring to our real-world engines, because unlike the engines in Fallout, um, they don't explode. They actually go through something called catastrophic failure. Um, what catastrophic failure is that it is basically it breaks. It breaks in a manner that can be completely unfixable. Um, when that happens, it's a very complex topic to tackle. But before I even get into any of that, um, a real world engine works by containing explosions within it. Um, most engines, if not all engines, are designed to contain an explosion. Um, the the explosion is meant to be controlled and it's meant to happen at a precise time. That is why there is the phrase out of timing. Mechanics or car enthusiast or anything, anyone in the automotive sphere will tell you out of timing is basically when one piece of an engine is not in line with the rest, thus leading to the explosions that are meant to be contained inside of the engine uh, get out. In the old days of carburetors, it usually meant, one, it could either go out the tailpipe or, you know, more dangerously, it would come out through the intake and out the carburetor. And given that the carburetor is the part of the engine that contains the gasoline that fuels this explosion, um, one can understand why that's that. Um, but this is not limited to just gasoline engines. Diesel engines can explode as well. But given that different engines operate differently with different parts, um, there are different reasons why an engine would quote unquote explode or blow up. Um, for example, turbocharged engines are cramming air, are pressurizing air and forcing pressurized air into the engine. If the engine is not built to handle that pressure, parts of that engine will once again suffer catastrophic failure and pieces of it will fly off. Um, that is, with that kind of application, turbocharged or supercharged can happen to supercharged engines as well. Famously, uh, funny cars um, and 3 second 3 second quarter mile, dragsters suffer that. Um, you can sometimes even see slow motion if you're watching, a drag racing event on TV. Uh, Sometimes they'll even, take the footage of that engine blowing up and they'll slow it down and they'll show it. You know, they'll show it. Recall that being a thing as well. So you can see literally a piece of the engine jump um, up. Typically the supercharger in those cases um, jump up and you'll see puffs of smoke, you'll see flames coming out, and it once again it's catastrophic failure leading it to an external explosion because the explosions are meant to be contained. Um, with that, sometimes you can also have the you can have the catastrophic failure and the pieces fly out, but no explosion, no flame. Um, that too can happen. Sometimes the engine just stops. The car just stops moving. You're like, what happened? So you get off, you pop the hood, and you start looking around, or in rear engine cars, you pop the trunk. You start looking, and you don't see anything wrong until you're like, oh well, get a tow truck, get it towed, and then it's at the repair shop or at the mechanic shop, and then they put it up in the air on a lift, and they're like, oh, that's your problem, and you see parts that are inside hanging out. Once again, that they're explosions, but they're not detonations in the sense of they're explosive items that go wrong, and you know they're not. It's just catastrophic failure to contain the explosion inside the engine. Um, Now, for diesel engines, um, what I know, and as much as I know, which isn't a whole lot, mind you, diesels will have a condition called runaway. Runaway is when the, as far as I have it understood, the engine will go to maximum RPM and stay there until things around it get too hot and they burst into flames, thus pretty much circling back to the engine. The engine catches on fire and all this kind of stuff, um, which is why that's dangerous. But no explosion until the very end, when the fire finally attacks the fuel source, or until the engine is pretty much passing the limits of the metal it's made out of, and thus you know we have a quote unquote explosion. Once again, it's not an explosion, it's a catastrophic failure of pretty much the metal. Um, that is what happens when real world engines quote unquote blow up or they explode. Like I said, it's not that, it's just, you know, they suffer catastrophic failure. With that, uh, this was quite a brief video. Um, So I actually am making a separate video to address some of the names that I hit here. I realized that I should probably tackle that I should probably list off and kind of talk about, the actual components to an engine. And it's slowly beginning to spin out of control here. Um, it was supposed to be a very brief video just showing a couple of parts and whatnot. Yeah, that kind of didn't happen. And it's actually going to be a two-part video now, um, or at least the video will have two different segments in it. Uh, yeah, sorry about that, guys. So I hope to have it done soon, but we'll see. We'll see what actually happens. Um, So I'm gonna be go ahead just to kind of give you all a heads up. It's gonna be giving you the names and the actual parts. Pretty much listing off what parts I'm talking about. Um, their names and what they do, and then the second half will be about what these parts, what the terms, I should say, what terms mean and stuff like that. I know I kind of explained what some of the terms in here are. Um, but yeah, I'm probably going to be deep diving into that. Um, and to tack on something at the end of this, tack it on here. Someone actually corrected me. I said in the previous video that Fallout engines, or at least what is recognized as the engine, doesn't exist in the real world. I apparently was wrong on that. Apparently, it is something called a radioisotope generator, or a Stirling radioisotope generator. Um, I was completely unaware of that. I did not know that that was a thing. I am currently looking into it. I'm trying to read more about them. I will probably uh, make a proper correction video in the future addressing that, or I may, include it yet again in the next video. Um, Gonna have to work that out as soon as I get more information on it. I just kind of briefly looked at, what that was about. Thank you to whoever commented on that. Um, I very much enjoy it. I very much enjoy learning more. Like I've said in my previous videos, I know a lot, but I come from the automotive side of things. Uh, Nowhere near nuclear physicist or nuclear technology. I really, I'm no expert on that. I know more about, automotive, and the automotive technologies that are out there. Um, so thank you very much. And so if you guys have enjoyed me rambling on for a little over 10 minutes, um, please check out more of the videos. Like, subscribe, comment, please. If you know something that I don't, as like I just said, someone did, please share it. By all means. This is meant to be an exploration into the automotive world that Fallout establishes. So please. So with that, I will see everyone in the next video.